Good morning, going live. Excuse my face, I just got back from CrossFit and I took 2 days off, so felt good to get my sweat on. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on Instagram and hopefully you guys have some good questions. Let's see if I can do this. Just like that. Alright, fix these shorts. Hello! I'm here for a live question and answer. Let's see what's new. Tyler and I have some really good news, but I can't share yet because it's not official, but it's really exciting. And I'm 14 weeks pregnant now, so that's exciting. I'm definitely showing. Feeling really good, feeling really strong. I just recorded a video this morning on the supplements that I have already been taking before pregnancy, but that I'm still sure to take during pregnancy because of the importance to maintain them. So yeah, I'm here to answer any questions that you guys might have. I'll be here for about 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Yeah, just about 15 minutes today, but I know that you guys can just bring on the questions really quickly. We've done this before, so anything that you would like to ask me, please do. Good morning. Good morning, Mickey. That's a cute name. Speaking of names, I don't know if you guys know how my husband and I got the name David for our son, but we found out we were pregnant because we were at a marriage seminar at our church. It was a 2-day thing, and the second day, the morning, we walked in and there was, he's a guy that serves at the church, so I'll say he's an usher or an elder. He was holding the door for us, and we have never held a conversation with this man before, and he said, the Holy Spirit told me you're going to have a son and to name him David. And I just totally stopped in my tracks, and excuse me, and yeah, we had no idea. Like, I still had 2 weeks to go before I had missed my period for the first time for pregnancy. And so I tested the next day and it was positive, and funny thing, I didn't read it right, and so I just threw it in the garbage and went to bed. And so Tyler came back into the bedroom later that night. He goes to sleep later than I do. And he saw it in the garbage and he was like, were you planning on telling me about this? And I was like, don't play a joke, like, this isn't funny. And he's like, I don't think you looked at it properly. And so it was an amazing moment. And we've already confirmed that it's a male, but yeah, so that's how we got the name David. So I've been reading the story of David in the Bible. It's an awesome story. It's in Samuel, 1st and 2nd Samuel, if anyone's interested in that, but I've really been enjoying it. Good morning, good morning. All right, I think this actually is not an old shirt. Tyler got it for me from Target. Are you doing strength training or just CrossFit? I'm doing CrossFit and strength training. So our CrossFit structures it so that the first part of the hour is strength. We do warm-up strength, and then we do conditioning, which is like an AMRAP of whatever the WOD is for the day, the workout of the day. And I've scaled a lot of cardio. My strength has been maintained. I've actually hit a couple of PRs during pregnancy. I'm sure that has to do with the fact that I am super nourishing my body as I was before, but I'm just feeling really good and very strong. But my endurance has gone down, not just because of pregnancy, but also because I had a foot surgery prior to becoming pregnant, and I wasn't able to run or do cardio for about 8 weeks. So I'm just sticking with the strength training, and then I'll also go to Planet Fitness and do like accessory movements. Strength training is like therapy for me. I feel really good and really strong just listening to my body. How do you get all your electrolytes in? I struggle with too much sweet flavor, and I need at least 16 ounces of water per scoop of Relight. I need at least 4 to 5 grams to not feel icky. Yeah, so if you're someone who really struggles with the flavor, I was gonna say my hydration slushy, which is, I do like 4 scoops plus a bunch of seltzer water and ice. I would still give that a shot because it tastes really good and refreshing, but if it's too strong for you, then you would do really well with the Relight capsules. Redmond makes electrolyte capsules. They also make one called Hydration Plus, which also has iodine, so that would be an awesome solution for you. if you don't like the taste of salty water or the sweetness. I'm worried sipping on the sweet all day isn't good for insulin. I don't get sweet cravings or anything. That's another excellent point. So I love the flavored Relight, but I don't sit there and sip it all day. Very similar to chewing gum, sweet tastes will elicit a cephalic insulin response. And so it can cause some degree of insulin resistance when you're just having sweet tastes in your mouth all day long. And it's sending a mixed signal because you're tasting something sweet, so your body is preparing to have fuel, but it's not getting any because it's 0 calories essentially. So you're exactly right. I would do it in one sitting or a couple sittings. What recommendations do you have for someone who's been strict lion diet and felt amazing but has fallen off the wagon and can't seem to get back there? So what I would recommend to you is, why don't you not go back to strict lion? Why don't you use some variety but stick with animal foods? Allow yourself to have whatever meats you like. Allow yourself to have dairy if it's not a major problem for you. Allow yourself possibly to have some low carb, low oxalate vegetation. There are things that are not harmful. I serve them even at my retreats and no one has issues with them. And I have a lot of sensitive people at my retreats. Many of my clients do far better with more variety versus strict lion diet. I think it's a great thing for anyone to try to see how they feel, but it sounds like maybe you're just in a season where you don't do well with so much restriction, especially because you fell off the wagon. Some people feel like you restrict yourself to the point that you react impulsively the opposite direction. So you just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Whereas if you just give yourself permission to have a little bit more variety in the first place, then it would be sustainable. That's preaching to the choir. That's my story. So I would recommend to you to stay animal-based, but don't focus on perfection. You know, go get burger patties from Wendy's. They're delicious. Go get, allow yourself to have some pickles with them. Like herbs on your meat make it taste delicious. Miracle noodles are 0 carb, 0 oxalate. And well, they're not 0 carb, but they're like 0 effective carbohydrate. 3 total carbs per bag. Essentially nothing. 0 oxalate, and they're noodles, so you can make things with it. You can make a cheese sauce. You can just eat them with butter. It's delicious, but it gives you variety so that you don't feel so restricted. So I hope that helps. I am also working on a cookbook that should be out in 2014. Really trying to finish it before the baby comes because it's going to be hard to finish once the baby comes. So yeah, that'll have a lot of recipes with variety, but I will use the mindfulness that I used during my healing journey where like I still react to a lot of things. I am very sensitive. I'm still healing and sealing my gut. So making sure that those interferences are not in the way. I see so many people saying they need electrolytes and I never take anything, and so why on earth are so many people saying they need electrolytes? What are they doing wrong? It's not that they're doing anything wrong. You might be the lucky starfish. I take 10 grams of sodium per day. Our soil and our water has been stripped of minerals. It's completely depleted. We don't live in the same world that our ancestors lived in, so we actually need to supplement electrolytes. Most people do, especially on a low carb diet when your insulin is so low and your sodium will be dumping, literally. Minerals and electrolytes are not as abundant in our food or water like they were for our ancestors. So that is a supplement that I think most people need. And I absolutely 100% need them every day. I agree, and the whole disagreement for details is bad. We all should be together on this. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know if you're referring to exercise, but don't get me started. Exercise during pregnancy, let's just say I've come so close multiple times to making a reel or a post directed towards people who have bombed my inbox to tell me that I am doing something wrong by exercising during pregnancy. I appreciate concern and I appreciate you sharing your opinion in a way that is loving. But what a lot of people are doing is literally just projecting their fears onto me. And it's just not appropriate. Like, if you have this concern, then present it as a concern. But also see that I've made a public statement that I will be exercising during pregnancy. And obviously I've thought about it. I had a miscarriage. It had nothing to do with anything that I did. And I know that. So if you have a different opinion, you know, just like religion, or faith. I'm not going into other people's, just because I believe in Jesus Christ and he's my savior, I'm not going into other people's inboxes and saying, you're wrong for believing in Buddha. No, I'm sharing my message on my page and hoping that the truth makes it, impacts people. So I think that the manner in which people feel like they have such entitlement to talk about exercise during pregnancy is disturbing to me. But my husband has helped me a lot with realizing like not responding is probably one of the best responses. Sometimes people don't realize that they are projecting. They think they're sincerely being, the helpful. I had one lady who messaged me and in a response to my story was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I thought she was just noticing my body composition. So I was like, "Yeah, we made a post a couple of weeks ago." And she's like, "Yeah, I saw them." And so I was like, "So why did you ask if I was pregnant?" And then she's like, "I actually don't know. Just concerned about the lifting." It's like, why didn't you just say something in the first place? This is what I'm talking about. And these are like grown adults. So I'm going to step down from that platform because everyone has different opinions. But at the end of the day, you have to respect other people when they've made their decision. Why am I getting leg cramps at night while sleeping on carnivore? I think you need more electrolytes. Yeah, the person said that they don't have electrolytes. They do have salt. So electrolytes are really cool that they work kind of like a pyramid. Sodium is at the top of the pyramid and it's the biggest tank. A pyramid of tanks. Sodium's at the top, biggest tank. Underneath sodium is potassium, magnesium, all calcium, the other electrolytes and minerals. So usually, if your sodium tank is full and not depleted, you won't start tapping into these other ones. So some people can get away with just doing salt. But if your sodium does become depleted, aka you're dehydrated, then you start to tap into these other ones. And once you have started to deplete potassium or the other ones, it's more difficult to make up for it with just sodium. And so that's when an electrolyte, pre-formulated electrolyte supplement comes in handy. So I always have Rev and Relight on hand. I sweat like crazy. I don't sit in my sauna like I used to during this pregnancy. I use my little red light, actually it's a large red light panel from Cozy Light. My discount code is tailored. But even though I'm not sweating in the sauna, I'm still sweating at CrossFit. And I have to make up for that. And so I know that I'm the type of person where my sodium's going to be falling below what I need from moment to moment, from day to day. And so I take an electrolyte supplement. So lifestyle could make a difference as well. Carnivore has done so much better for me, gone so much better for me this time around. The boosted electrolytes, addition of meat chips with tallow and butter, lemon custard, yes, and not trying to fast has helped so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your lives and recipes. You're welcome. If you guys haven't tried my lemon custard, that recipe blew up. I thought people would think it was weird. I thought it would get like 20 likes. Sometimes I post something, I'm like, people aren't gonna really like this. But I gotta share it because it's useful to me and I think it could help someone else. But that recipe blew up. I looked into the insights on that post and I think it had almost 600 people saved that recipe. And even people like not even following me. So it's a great recipe. It's just eggs and lemon juice and butter. Don't listen to those people. Just do what is best for you and the baby. You look beautiful and healthy. I praise Jesus for that little praiser that is coming. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And, for all the people that are inconsiderate and really could do better with their choice of words, I still have a lot of people who stand by me, support me. I mean, 2 of my CrossFit coaches just had babies. Or one is pregnant, about to have a baby in September. One just had a baby, and my CrossFit coach is like, every single pregnant woman who's maintained their CrossFit during pregnancy has had a healthier delivery than those who he knows who hasn't done CrossFit. And I know, like, it's not just this, it's based on tons of research that I've done and listening to my body. Like, it's there. It's the facts are there. The proof is in the pudding. I don't need to find any more proof. It's there. So I really appreciate the people supporting me and the encouraging words. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Okay. Have you ever tried Element? Any different from what you use? Element is lower in potassium. I love it. I love the flavors. The ingredients are good, but the potassium is lower. And I really favor higher potassium, especially for those on a carnivore diet. So I chose Relight. I'm also biased. I grew up eating Redmond Real Salt. It was in my family home. And so I love the company. I love the people. And I was like, wow, they have electrolytes now. So it worked out. Here we go. This is what I thought. This person is basically 90% raw animal food because when he does cook it, I make it very rare. I drink between 1.5 gallons a day, very mineral rich. Raw meat. That's the same thing with Bella, Steak and Butter Gal. She doesn't take electrolytes unless that has changed, and she eats a lot of raw meat. She has shared this. And so the raw meat thing, you're not cooking out a lot of the electrolytes. Thank you for sharing that. 1/2 gallon a day of raw milk, which is very mineral rich. You're exactly right. I've had a lot of clients who have told me, I don't want to drink milk because it has carbs, but I feel so good when I drink it. And I know when they tell me that they need the minerals and the electrolytes. So for those of you who don't want to be consuming carbs right now, but raw milk really makes you feel better, why don't you try just getting some minerals like Aussie Trace minerals? I take those every day. My discount code is tailored, an electrolyte formula, but raw milk is a superfood, and I believe that, but dairy has its own set of issues, so to each their own. Thank you for sharing that. Are you able to help with SIRS symptoms? Yes, I am. I had SIRS myself, and I did not do the Shoemaker protocol. So there are genetic differences that will depend on the person whether or not they need to do the Shoemaker protocol. And I did not. I work with a lot of people with SIRS, and I've helped a lot of people with SIRS. So, yes, I absolutely can. I love you too. Thank you. That means a lot. Redmond is the best. It just tastes so good. You can't go back. Any tips for getting rid of sugar cravings? That's really what stops me from going lion, because I think dairy and eggs may cause issues right now. So reducing sugar cravings, you need to eat enough fat. What I would say is when your body is screaming for more sugar, you need to know how much fat and protein you're eating. If you're not tracking your macros and you're having cravings, what you measure you can manage. So if you're not eating 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight, guess what? You should be eating that much, because that will just squash cravings. You should be eating more fat than protein if you're trying to become fat adapted. Your body needs to know that it has an abundance of fat, and you can only do that with dietary fat if you've not yet become fat adapted. I literally just posted a video on fat adaptation. Please watch that if you don't think you're fat adapted. That'll help you. Now, if you are doing all those things, you're eating enough protein and enough fat, your macros are good, and you're still struggling with sugar cravings, then you might have a candida infection. You might have some gut issues, some surviving bad bacteria that's making you crave those foods. It could be an emotional thing. I would need to know more about you, but this is a situation where I would say I would love to work with you. I would love to work through these problems, your relationship with food, because there's something going on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of right now, that I can't recommend any changes. So a couple different things. I have shared how I have healed myself from SIRS. It's how I healed from Lyme disease, over 10 autoimmune diseases, chronic C. diff. If you check out my website, there is a page for media. You can listen to any of my interviews and podcasts. I don't talk about me having SIRS a lot because I actually never thought of it to be a big thing when I was diagnosed with it. It was one of the first things I was diagnosed with by the Lyme literate doctors. And it was like chronic inflammatory respiratory syndrome. Like, that doesn't sound like a big deal. I had central sensitization syndrome. That's not something I talk about all the time. I had a lot of things that I don't mention because it doesn't seem like a lot of people will be aware of it, but now SIRS is this big thing. SIRS is the trending thing, just like histamine intolerance was the thing 2 years ago. And so that's just my stance. But I have shared. I share every time I talk about what I've done with nutrition. It's literally about supporting the body at a systemic level, which will support your detoxification pathways. You're very welcome. All right. Awesome. That's incredible. Keep it up. All right. Well, I promised Tyler this would only be 15 minutes, so it's been about 20, and I should go. If you guys have any more questions and if I can help you, please message me. There are a lot of situations where the coaching is really appropriate. Like, I need to be able to know so much more about you to answer all of your questions sometimes. But I'll certainly do my best here on these lives. I love your questions. My fall retreat is still open for signups. We have a whole second cabin to book, and it's going to be incredible. We have Ken Berry, Nisha Berry, Maria Emmerich, Kelly Hogan, Lisa Wiedemann. I cannot wait to see and hug all of them. I will be featuring new cuts from Billy Doe Meats, especially. We're going to have ribeyes this time. It's going to be incredible. So if you're interested, please send me an email at Rebecca, REBEKAH, at tailoredketo.health, or send me a message on Instagram. Have a great day.